Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we have another power rankings video. This is going to be our second to last power rankings video of the 2026 season, and we're going to be doing one very interesting one. Who changed spots in the top 4 teams in the power rankings after the first 3 games of the West and East final? We'll touch on all of this coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. Now once again, if you haven't already, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, tell all your friends the best hockey content on YouTube is right here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. So if you haven't already, leave a like, it really does help with the channel, leave a subscribe. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers in the very near future. Don't forget to stay tuned for my live streams later tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for Game 4 of the Avalanche and Knight series. And then also on Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Game 5 of both the West and East finals. Of course, the West only being if Colorado wins later tonight. So very interesting note there, but hope you guys are able to stay tuned for all of those ones. And don't forget to keep up to date with the channel to keep track of all of my videos. Now in today's video, we have another power rankings video. This is our second to last power rankings video of the entire 2026 playoffs. So we'll do another one when we figure out who the Stanley Cup finals will rank the teams 1 and 2, and then we'll be done with the power rankings. But we did get a little bit of shiftments in the top 4 with the 4 teams who are still in the power rankings here, because there are still 4 teams left in the playoffs. So we're going to start here with the 4th team in the power rankings. They dropped from number 2, are on the brink of elimination, and currently inheriting the full presence of the President's Trophy curse. We've got the Colorado Avalanche. I did bump them up last week. I know a lot of you guys were really upset with how low I was putting them in the second round. So I thought, you know what, Colorado's looking good. The President's Trophy curse, maybe it's over. Maybe the Avalanche do wind up going to the Stanley Cup final. I said Knights in 7. I thought it would be a very close series. Nope. Vegas has taken control of that series from the get-go, and Colorado looks lost. Started out the series with a 3-0 deficit to Vegas, almost made a comeback but lost 4-2 to the Knights. Then they had a 1-0 lead for a majority of Game 2 before, in the blink of an eye, the Knights scored 2 goals and held on for a 3-1 victory. And then they had a 3-0 lead in Sunday's Game 3 against Vegas and blew it and lost 5-3. Colorado just does not look like they have it right now. McKinnon suffered an injury in Game 3. McCarr missed the first 2 games because of injuries. So once again, the Avalanche team is banged up, and they can definitely blame it on injuries, but I think at this point they're just getting outclassed by the Pillow Division winning Vegas Golden Knights. So all in all, I don't think there's going to be anything else to say here, because the Colorado Avalanche have just been not good. So once again, after making it to this conference final for the first time since winning the Stanley Cup back in 2022, it's looking at the Colorado Avalanche are going to be ousted, potentially in a sweep or at the very least 5 games by the Vegas Golden Knights. So very interesting note there, but I think being on the brink of elimination, it got put the Avalanche down to the number 4th spot here. Offensively, still doing pretty decent with Kadri, with Drury, with McKinnon. Defensively, not looking too shabby with guys like Taves and McCarr. And in net, Scott Wedgwood's been alright, but he could definitely be a bit better. So all in all, Avalanche just do not look like they have it right now. And we'll see what they do for Game 4, but it is not looking good right now for the Avalanche. Then, at the 3rd spot in the power rankings, staying there from last week, currently just ever so slightly trailing in their series in the Eastern Conference Final, we have the Montreal Canadiens. They are currently down in their series 2-1 after last night's overtime loss to the Carolina Hurricanes, so not great stuff there. Montreal came out flying in that series. Game 1, 4 unanswered goals, took a 6-2 victory in Game 1, but since then, Carolina's gone to their games. Montreal has not been able to shoot the puck on net at all, and Montreal's lost back-to-back 3-2 overtime games, once in Carolina and once in Montreal. So once again, we saw them be down a couple of times against the Buffalo Sabres, and it looked at some points that they were down and out. So Montreal's familiar with adversity, and I think there's still a very likely chance they're able to pull off the series victory. But I mean, back-to-back overtime losses, they could be up 3-0 right now, but they wound up being down 2-1. So not great stuff there. So I'm just going to leave them here at the 3rd spot in the power rankings, but I still think this team has a shot to potentially still upset the Canes. So all in all, still stuff there from those Habs. Offensively, team's looking pretty good with Suzuki, with Doc, with Newhook. Defensively, not looking too shabby with guys like Hudson and Carrier. And in net, Dobesh is still being Dobesh. So very good stuff there for the Habs. At the 2nd spot in the power rankings, on the precipice of making it to their 3rd Stanley Cup final in 9 seasons, currently having a 3-0 series lead on the President's Trophy champs, we have the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm going to bump them up here from the 4th spot last week to the 2nd second spot this week because they have been looking phenomenal, like we talked about. They got the ever so slight edge over the Colorado Avalanche in Game 1 after a 3-0 lead, took them down 4-2. They then took down the Avalanche 3-1, scoring 2 quick goals in the third period from Eichel and Barbashev to give the Knights a 3-1 victory. And then they were able to take down the Avalanche 5-3 after being up 3-0 in the first period. Hart looked brilliant after laying in the first 3 goals. Once again, the offense started to turn up. Stone was back in the lineup, had a goal and an assist. That's a huge boost for the Golden Knights. And all in all, Vegas just looked like a well-oiled machine, and it looks like nothing can stop them at this point. So I think after the solid start that I think not a lot of people were expecting, I'm a Knights fan. I thought this series was at least going to go 6 or 7 games with it being very close. I was not expecting a Knights 3-0 series lead. So all in all, Vegas has been looking phenomenal. I think they deserve to go up to second spot on the power rankings. They're not going to bump them up to top spot yet, but I think at this point in time they deserve to go right back up to the top end of the power rankings. Offensively, team's looking great with Eichel, Stone, and Hurdle. Defensively, not looking too shabby with guys like Theodore and Hannafin. And in net, Carter Hart has been brilliant. So all in all, solid stuff there from the Knights. But after being up 3-0 and on the precipice of making it to the Stanley Cup final, Vegas goes up to the second spot on the power rankings. And the first spot on the power rankings, staying there from last week, currently holding a lead, like we talked about, is the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, I was a little bit scared with the Hurricanes going into the Eastern Conference final, given the fact over the last 4 Eastern Conference final appearances in 09, 19, 23, and last year in 25, this team has been 1-16 in postseason games in the Eastern Conference final, which is not overly good, but they didn't look overly great to start out the series. There was a lot of rust. Of course, a 12-day rest will do that to you, as they gave up 6 goals against Montreal when they only given up 5 against Ottawa and Philadelphia in their entire 4-game series. But they wound up bouncing back. Game 2, a lot better of a game, got to their game, and just ever so slightly edged out Montreal. Ehlers with the overtime winner. Same thing in Game 3 in Montreal, got to their game, held Montreal to very few shots, and Svechnikov with the overtime winner. So they are ever so slightly getting past the Montreal Canadiens. I am still a little bit concerned because they're not blowing the Habs out when the Habs aren't even playing overly well. I think if the Habs find their game again, Carolina could be in a little bit of trouble. But the Hurricanes finally have a lead in an Eastern Conference final. They've won twice, which is already doubling their total from the last 4 Eastern Conference final trips. They're 10-1 in the postseason right now. So once again, if Montreal comes back, eliminates Carolina, maybe the Hurricanes go out of the postseason power rankings. But at least at this point in time, I'm going to keep them here at the top on the power rankings because 10-1 in the postseason, man, I don't really think there's anyone who's competing with that. Even though Vegas is up 3-0 in their series, I still think Carolina is currently the best team playing hockey right now, and hopefully they do make it to the Stanley Cup final, but I still have my doubts about the Hurricanes. So very interesting note there, but I do keep the Hurricanes at the top spot on the power rankings. Offensively, team's looking great with Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis. Defensively, not too shabby with guys like Gostisbehere and Slavin, and in net, Anderson still being Anderson for the Carolina Hurricanes. So all in all, Carolina's looking phenomenal. They are looking great, and that is why I'm keeping them as a top team in the power rankings. So those are my power rankings for the second to last time in this 2025-2026 season. Just to recap, power rankings as of the last one for the conference finals, we have at 4 the Colorado Avalanche, 3 is the Montreal Canadiens, 2 is the Vegas Golden Knights, and the number 1 team staying there from last week is the Carolina Hurricanes. So definitely, those are my power rankings as it sits right now. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you guys think of the power rankings? Do you think I hit home on most of my power rankings? Do you think I messed up? And if so, who do you have as the 1, 2, 3, 4 teams right now in the power rankings in the Eastern Conference final? I'll have your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. That's all I'm going to for today. Remember to like this video, and if you really like to, remember to subscribe below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to with all of you guys, so if you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, comment, tell all your friends best hockey content in YouTube. It's right here at the End to End Hockey channel. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers, so if you can, leave a subscriber, really does help with the channel. We're going to stay tuned for my live streams later tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for Vegas, Colorado Game 4, and then the Game 5s on Thursday, Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Of course, the West, if necessary, if Vegas doesn't sweep tonight. So definitely don't forget to stay tuned for those live streams that will be coming in the very near future. Also, the blog to about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that, so check that out. I'll link to that in the description below. I can't see you guys all for the next video. God bless you all. I'll see you all in the next one.